You walk into a room and you feel it instantly. You feel the eyes on you, judging, calculating, finding you wanting. You smile too fast, you agree too often, and you apologize for taking up space. You are not being polite. You are signaling to every predator in the room that you are ready to be eaten. Stop lying to yourself, right now. You call it kindness, but it is cowardice in a cheap tuxedo. You think your good nature will be rewarded? You think the universe keeps a scoreboard of your sacrifices? It does not. Niccolo Machiavelli, 500 years ago, observed that men are ungrateful, fickle, and deceitful. Yet you continue to operate as if you are living among saints. This is why you feel that knot in your stomach. This is why you replay conversations in the shower, wishing you had spoken up. You are suffering from a delusion that makes you vulnerable to every manipulator, every user, and every gaslighter in your orbit. You are a sheep begging the wolf for a negotiation. That tightness in your chest, that is the shame of your own passivity. That is the frustration of knowing you were built for more, yet you settle for being a doormat. You are terrified of conflict, so you manufacture consent. You are terrified of rejection, so you hollow yourself out to please people who wouldn't piss on you if you were on fire. Here is the thesis you need to tattoo onto your frontal cortex. Your weakness is not a moral virtue. It is a strategic error of the highest order. You are not keeping the peace, you are surrendering territory. You are not being the bigger person, you are being a useful idiot. But you can change the weapon you bring to the fight. In the next few minutes, I am going to hand you the scalpel to dissect the manipulations around you. We are going to cover 7 dangerous principles of power. First, you will learn to weaponize silence. Second, you will master the art of strategic cruelty. Third, you will understand the fox and the lion. Fourth, you will dismantle covert contracts. Fifth, you will create information asymmetry. Sixth, you will integrate your shadow. And finally, you will learn to make them need you more than you need them. Stay until the end, because the final principle is the one thing that separates the apex predator from the bottom feeder.
Principle 1. The silence of the sniper. You talk too much. It is a sickness. You fill every silence with nervous chatter, exposing your position on the battlefield. In psychology, this is a failure of impulse control, rooted in a desperate need for validation. You treat conversation like a confessional, spilling your guts, hoping for absolution. Stop it. Silence is a vacuum, and nature abhors a vacuum. When you shut your mouth, you create pressure. You force the other person to fill the void, to reveal their hand, to expose their anxieties. You become the observer, not the observed. Machiavelli said, "The wise man does at once what the fool does finally. The fool talks to prove he is there. The wise man stays silent to see what is hidden." Here is your tactical order. In your next negotiation, count to 3 before answering. Lock eyes. Do not fidget. Let the silence scream. Watch them squirm. Watch them offer concessions just to break the tension. That is the sound of power shifting to your corner. But silence is just the defense. Do you have the stomach for the offense? Most of you do not. You have been brainwashed to believe that being nice is the only way to survive. You are about to learn why that lie is destroying your life.
Principle 2. The surgical amputation of uselessness. You are drowning in dead weight. You keep toxic people in your orbit because you are afraid of being alone, or worse, afraid of being seen as mean. This is emotional hoarding. You are keeping rotting carcasses in your living room and wondering why the house smells. In the animal kingdom, the wolf pack does not tolerate the member who slows the hunt. They drive them out or kill them. It is not cruelty, it is survival calculus.
You must learn the art of strategic cruelty. You must learn to cut off the limb to save the life. The French Emperor Napoleon Bonaparte, a student of power, noted that if you wish to be a success in the world, promise everything, give nothing. But there is a darker corollary. Give nothing to those who drain you. Your orders are simple. Identify the 3 people in your life who take more than they give. The emotional vampires, the complainers, the victims. Do not explain yourself to them. Do not give them a closing argument. Cut contact. Block the number. Walk away. Do it today. The pain of severance is acute, but the infection of keeping them is fatal. Are you a surgeon, or are you a host for parasites? Ask yourself this question. Why do you tolerate behavior from others that you would never dare to inflict on them? Why do you hold yourself to a standard of
Saintliness while accepting their devilry? Principle 3. The fox and the lion metaphor. This is the core of Machiavellian strategy. You must be a hybrid monster. You must be the fox to recognize the traps and the lion to terrify the wolves. Most of you are neither. You are sheep. You try to be the lion by roaring on social media, but you have no claws in reality. You try to be the fox by thinking you are smart, but you get fleeced by every hustler with a sob story. Cognitive dissonance paralyzes you. You want to be good, so you refuse to learn how to be bad. That is suicide. Machiavelli wrote in The Prince, "A prince must imitate the fox and the lion, for the lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves." Tactical application. When dealing with a manipulator, be the fox. Use their own logic against them. Feign weakness. Let them think they have won. Then, when the moment is right, be the lion. Strike with overwhelming force. Show them that your kindness was a choice, not a compulsion. Make them fear the switch. If they cannot predict you, they cannot control you. But here is the trap. Even if you are the fox and the lion, you are still operating on a battlefield of someone else's making. You are reacting. You need to write the rules of the game.
Principle 4. Breaking the covert contract. This is the psychological cancer that eats you alive. You do things for people, and inside your head you write a contract. I did this for you, so now you must do this for me. But you never tell them. You never get a signature. And when they inevitably violate this invisible contract, you explode with rage. This is the covert contract. It is the hallmark of the nice guy syndrome. You are manipulating them with unspoken expectations and then playing the victim when the transaction fails. The Stoic philosophers understood that we control only our own actions. Expectation is the mother of resentment. You are handing people a loaded gun and begging them not to shoot you. Here's the fix. Stop giving with strings attached. If you give, give because it serves your strategy, or because you simply want to. Erase the debt immediately in your mind. Or state your price up front. I will do this for you, and I expect this in return. Watch how fast they run. That is clarity. That is power. Stop being a secret policeman writing tickets for crimes no one knew they committed. Count to 3. 1, 2, 3. In that silence, who came into your mind? Who is currently violating your unspoken rules? You are letting them. You are the problem. Principle 5. The fog of war. Information asymmetry. Sun Tzu said all warfare is based on deception. In the modern jungle, information is ammunition. You give it away for free. You post your location, your mood, your relationship status, your insecurities on a digital billboard for the world to see. You are an open book, and predators read you in seconds. You must create information asymmetry. You must know everything about them
while they know nothing about you. You must become a question mark in a room full of exclamation points. The CIA uses this in interrogation. They build a profile while keeping the subject guessing. You must be a closed system. Tactics. Stop explaining your decisions. No is a complete sentence. When someone asks a personal question, answer with a question. Deflect, pivot, wear a mask of benign opacity. Make them work for every scrap of data. When you are a mystery, you are a threat. When you are an open book, you are a resource to be mined and discarded. Why do you feel the need to explain yourself? Why do you seek their understanding? It is a weakness. It is a leak in your armor. Plug it.
Principle 6. Integrating the shadow. Carl Jung warned that the brighter the light, the darker the shadow. You have a dark side. You have jealousy, rage, and a desire for dominance. You repress it. You pretend it isn't there. And because you repress it, it controls you. It comes out as passive aggression, as sudden outbursts, as self-sabotage. The most dangerous man is the one who has integrated his shadow. He knows his capacity for evil, and he keeps it on a leash. He does not fear his own darkness. He respects it. Jordan Peterson speaks of the harmless man. A harmless man is not good. A good man is a very dangerous man who has that danger under voluntary control. You must become dangerous. Do this. Admit your darkest thoughts to yourself. Acknowledge that you are capable of cruelty. Do not act on it, but own it. When you accept your own potential for destruction, you lose the fear of others. You stop being the prey hiding from the wolf, and you become the wolf who has no master. This is the ultimate sovereignty.
Principle 7. The golden handcuffs. The law of dependency. The final principle. The ultimate trap. Machiavelli taught that it is better to be feared than loved, but the pinnacle of power is to be needed. Love breaks, fear fades, need remains. If you need them, they own you. If they need you, you own them. You must structure your life so that no single person holds the keys to your survival. Simultaneously, you must make yourself indispensable to those you wish to influence. Be the source of their income, their status, their emotional stability, or their secrets. When you hold the keys, you dictate the terms. Tactic. Cultivate a unique skill or resource that they cannot get elsewhere. Be the gatekeeper. Once you are the bottleneck, you are untouchable. They cannot attack the hand that feeds them. Let's synthesize this surgery. You walked in here a sheep, bleeding empathy from every pore, wondering why the hyenas were circling. Now you have the map. You understand that silence is a weapon, that cruelty is sometimes necessary, and that the fox and the lion must live in the same cage. You know that covert contracts are for losers, that information is currency, and that your shadow is your greatest ally. If you ignore this, nothing changes. You will go back to your job, your relationship, your life, and you will be eaten. You will be used. You will be forgotten. That is the fate of the prey. But if you apply just one of these principles, the dynamic shifts. The room goes quiet when you enter. The predators look for an easier target. You stop asking for commission and start taking what is yours. This is not a game for the weak. This is the art of war. Subscribe to the channel if you are ready to leave the herd. The algorithm favors the bold. Smash that like button if you want more dark psychology truth. And right now, I want you to do something that proves you are not a sheep. Go to the comments, write, "I am the hunter." That is your declaration of independence. That is your first step off the altar of sacrifice. Do it now.